If you're already a subscriber, welcome back. And if you're here for the first time, do subscribe to the channel and do press the bell icon on the YouTube app and you will never miss any new videos that we release.
In the previous video, we showed a simple lever DIY and we discussed 3 different types of levers. In today's video, we are going to demonstrate how changing the distance between key elements make a difference to how a lever functions. So stay tuned, watch till the end, do subscribe to our channel and enjoy learning. This is the model. The distance between the 2 openings is 20 centimeters. Let's understand how lever functions. Let's start with the first class of lever. In the middle we have fulcrum. On one end we have load and on the other end we have effort or force. So we are going to take a weight of 1 kg and let's attach it to one end, and this is going to be a load. To balance this load of 1 kg, we will require equal amount of weight on the other side. So this is the fulcrum and this distance, okay, that is from the fulcrum to this load. This is the load arm and this is the effort arm. If the load arm is equal to the effort arm, then we require equal amount of weight to counterbalance. And let's see what will happen if we change the position of the fulcrum from this position to 20 centimeters towards the load. So let's put the same amount of weight and let's see if it can balance. So we see that this much amount of weight is too much to lift a weight of 1 kg. So let's see what amount of weight is required to lift a weight of 1 kg. This is a weight of 200 grams. Let's put this and see. So we'll have to further decrease it. Let's take a weight of 100 grams. This is less. Let's put another weight of 50 grams. This is slightly less. Let's put some weight. And now we see that it's balanced. So let's measure how much weight is this exactly. So we see that to balance a weight of 1 kg, we just needed a weight of 155 grams, which is approximately equal to 1/6 of it. So we see that when we decrease the length of the load arm and increase the length of the effort arm, with less effort we can lift heavier weights. Why does this happen? Let's see. The length of the effort arm is 60 centimeters and the length of the load arm is 20 centimeters. The length of the effort arm by the length of the load arm is called the mechanical advantage. If we divide the length of the effort arm, that is 60 centimeters, by the length of the load arm, that is 20 centimeters, the answer comes out to be 3. And we see that in this case the mechanical advantage is greater than 1. So when the mechanical advantage is greater than 1, it acts as a force multiplier. That is, with less efforts you can lift much heavier weights. Now let's increase the length of the load arm and decrease the length of the effort arm. So this is the load arm. So let's put the same amount of weight here. That is 1 kg. So we see that we require more effort to lift this 1 kg. Even to lift a weight of 1 kg, we require much greater force compared to this. So when the length of the load arm is greater than the length of the effort arm, the mechanical advantage comes out to be less than 1. In that case, the lever acts as a speed multiplier. Let's see how much weight is required to balance this 1 kg. We will directly use a digital weighing machine since these weights are not enough. At a weight of 3.215 kgs is required to lift a less amount of weight. When the load arm is greater than the effort arm, we need more force or effort to lift the weights. Let's talk about the second type of lever. In second type of lever, the fulcrum is fixed at one end, the load is attached in the middle, and the effort that we put is on the other extreme end. So let's attach this weight in the middle, that is between the fulcrum and where we are going to apply force or effort. Let's see how much effort we need to lift this weight from this point. In this case, the length of the effort arm was 80 centimeters and length of the load arm is 40 centimeters. Now let's see what will happen if we apply the efforts at this point. So when we reduce the length of the effort arm, we need more efforts to lift the equal amount of weight. So in both the cases, the length of the effort arm is greater than the length of the load arm. That is, if we calculate the mechanical advantage, we see that the mechanical advantage comes out to be greater than 1. Thus, it acts as a force multiplier. Hence, we need less force to lift heavier objects.
Now let's discuss about the third type of lever. In third type of lever, our fulcrum is at one extreme point, our load is at another extreme point, and we apply the efforts between fulcrum and load. Here, balloon is the load, and now let's see how much balloon is going to compress with effort exerted at different length. This is the load arm and this is the effort arm. Here, this is the effort, and we can see that with lots of weight we are getting very less compression. Here we have increased the effort arm. Here we can see that with 2 kg we are getting more compression as compared to the previous case. As we increase the length of effort arm, the lesser force we need to exert. In this case, load arm is greater than the effort arm, so the mechanical advantage is lesser than 1.
Scissors is an example of a first class lever. The fulcrum is the pivot in the middle. We exert the force from one end and the load is the cloth or the paper which we cut. A wheelbarrow is a second class lever. The effort is always applied at the end of the handle. The load is in the middle and the fulcrum is where the wheelbarrow is joined to the axle of the wheel. A pair of tongs is an example of a third class lever. The effort is between the load and the fulcrum.